This is Thorin's YouTube channel. Make sure you're tuning in, hitting subscribe.
Right, I'm here for another episode of Reflections, and my guest for this one is going to be Snax. Obviously, a long-time decorated Counter-Strike player from Poland, particularly for Virtus.pro, which is the most famous team, obviously. Right, Snax, the place I actually want to start is, I actually do remember, this is when the details, a lot of people don't know who Rory CSGO fans is, because I knew people like Neo, Taz, Cuban, those are the ones I talked to the most from your former teammates in 1.6. They did actually, even though the story goes, they only ever did one player change. They kicked Luke out once and then in came that Pionis guy, and then later on they changed for Pasha. And people think that's the only move they ever made. But I had heard over the years, there were times they thought about, should we make like a player change? And at the time in the Polish scene, there was Neo and Taz's team, and then everyone else, basically only Polish people knew. Like they weren't, if you went to an event, they were in the group stage and they would go out, or, you know, ESWC or something, it wouldn't be relevant. But I remember you actually were one of the names people did talk about at the end of 1.6. Like you, Pasha was also a name before he got recruited. There was one or two other ones, if people remember the GF Gaming and some of those teams. Do you remember in 1.6, did you actually think you were a good enough player to be in a team with that sort of player? Do you think it was possible?
That's a good question, actually. As I remember, like from, I can give you like kind of his like my history when it came to 1.6, when I started to be like more on eyes of the like better players in the Polish scene. I remember I was just playing with my friends, you know, like just like internet cafe that was created by my parents. And I was playing with my friend. We were like grinding a lot of CS, and I remember one day it was the site kind of like blacklisted, I think it was named. And there were people, because you didn't have that much on anti-cheat and other stuff, people were like putting the POVs of the players there. And me and friend were actually in the race, we're gonna get more from those POVs on this side, because they were like putting a lot of our like POVs, you know, like, and then
was it just because it's good, or is it because people think you cheat or something? What's the angle?
Yeah, they think because they cheat. So they had like four admins, like one head admin who had like contact with the pro scene at that time. And I remember he just wrote to, maybe it was Asuba that day, but they like Asuba quit like CS team in that moment, and they become like Polish.
Right.
I think it was something, I don't remember exactly, it was some quite time ago, yeah.
Sure.
But it was something like this, and the head admin of this blacklisted site wrote to the guy that he seemed like, I'm seeing for him that I'm playing really good in Counter-Strike, yeah. So he like tell the guys from there just to maybe ask me to try to play with them. I remember they bring me to like Mix 10, it was called. Like, so we were going on the server with 10 people, like dropping 5 Glocks, 5 USPs. So whoever was taking it was playing in City or T-side. And then I remember I was playing versus Rulon. You probably know Rulon.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember we played, first time I played with them on Mix 10, it was on Tuscan, I think. And I remember I just smacked them really hard on this Mix 10. It was my first time. Like I would like I go full fearless. I remember I did a lot of frags, and I remember Rulon was even calling me that day like a cheater. Yeah, that for sure something is wrong with me. And I would say like that's some like kind of how my like history came like to be like a good player in CS. Then I've like added Neo to friends. I think mostly it was like Neo, the first guy from those like Golden 5 team. And I remember like I was like asking most like every day or
were you like a fanboy?
Yeah, yeah, but it was more like trying to improve myself, you know, like
right.
Asking
that's tips and stuff, right?
Yeah. Mostly like learning, you know.
Right.
So I learned a lot from this. Like,
if people don't know, he's quite an open person, right? If you talk to him privately, he's quite like an earnest guy, right?
True. And I remember like some of the questions, the answer for some of my questions were really weird for me. Obviously, I was so much younger back in the day, so it was kind of a new world for me, especially if I can talk to the guy who I put sensitivity the same
you
as
copied
he had,
this
like
config, right?
Yeah. So he's like a star. Like I would say for me, like I was following his steps, I would say, if I can tell like this, and yeah. So it was pretty nice, and I think like the moment and when I was young and started to playing like more 1.6 and with like the friends and overall like in the CS, it was like I play a lot, you know, and it was only not playing when like this might like the words kind of weird or funny in that way, but I was not only playing, I was really thinking about what I'm doing in the game, you know, every class, like everything, asking other guys, so what should I do better, what should I do, do maybe differently, and this was like for me fun, yeah. Like back in the days, I was playing darts. There was like the video that I was playing, and I was actually achieving a lot of things there as well with my parents, because we had like a team with my parents, and I had like the moment that I need to choose between CS and darts, and CS was for me more enjoyable, I would say, because it's a team game. The thing is, if I like to play more with players to have a communication rather than play like solo game, and that's
Right.
like obviously it's a solo game, and that's what made me change like my aiming to going to CS, and obviously like contact with people, playing with them, like having fun. Obviously, it's so much funnier. And mostly this is like the story. And I remember even my like friend, he was like for some time in VP as an analyst in 2017. I think it was Junior, his name was, and
Right.
he's also on the video on the Major, those videos from Major.
Oh, the profile.
Yeah, the player profiles. And he was like saying from the back in the days in the 1.6 that I'm for sure gonna end somewhere, because you can see like how much time I'm spending on CS, how much I'm grinding, and the way I'm thinking about CS, it's something else, like I'm taking to another level. And in 1.6 I knew like it's gonna be hard to go to the team, because obviously they were playing together for a long time. They're never doing that much of changes. I think I'm playing CS from 2000 year, but it was like my parents' cafe, but I wasn't like into the esports at all. Like I was, playing Assault Militia or whatever. Yeah, like
Right.
it was just fun.
The
But
fun
I
year
started
pod maps, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I didn't follow that much. I think I started to follow more CS, because I didn't know something like esport exists. Back in the day. Like now, like internet is so open. You can
Sure.
particularly like check everything whenever you go. You can see like on the sites, obviously, or just internet. You can like see everywhere there is something. Yeah, and I didn't know. Like after 4 years of playing, I even remember I was playing non-Steam as well, because I was not ready to afford Steam, and game, because
If
obviously
people don't know, in Poland and Eastern Europe, actually, a lot of people who didn't own the game, there's a cracked version you could just play, and it's even famous if you went to those Ukrainian tournaments. Sometimes pro players sometimes didn't have a Steam account, mate. Like, it was kind of a famous thing right then, right?
Yeah, it was like a lot of people were using it, and obviously, when your parents at the stage of year like this, when the esport and computers are not that popular, I would say they are not. How to say it? I lost the word. Like not cheering you in this.
Not supportive, right? They worry about if it's a real job, right?
Yeah. And like I was also like maybe a bit shy to ask for like Counter-Strike. Like later when I started to play better, I was more like open for it. And obviously I remember even to talk about it that I want to play a little bit more serious in CS, and they were supporting it like later a bit. Yeah, but at the start it was hard. Yeah, so I'm jumping from the topic to topic, and I actually forget what.
Sorry, I'll tell you what. I'll ask another question. Right, let's just skip forwards because it's on the same theme. If this was your background and you came along in your parents' PC cafe, but initially, they didn't know as esports a thing. Later on, when you did have, like in the era of CSGO with the big job, and you had this player profile made, that must have been a cool moment, right? To have like a proper film crew come in and be like in that moment, they must know it's like a huge thing, right?
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Like I would say, like the work I put for my entire life in CS, it just paid off. Like it was nice to be on the stages. It was nice to have the interviews, player profiles. Even right now, when I would say like it's a kind of nice thing from Valve whenever they put like the CS2 intro. No, like the. Like when they released the first video of CS2, like there was a kind of like part of like the shortcut of a video from my like cobblestone action there,
right?
Yeah? And it's pretty nice. Like I can feel like, okay, we're going for another decade of CS, and like I'm kind of still there, even in video I can like show guys, look, like we can check like I'm here, and so this is like really nice. I really enjoy my time, obviously, and yeah.
Thing is, even though obviously you weren't at the top pro level at 1.6, I actually could easily imagine if you were the right age, you had the right team, you could have been really good. Like, I would even say that game might suit you more than CSGO Snax. Like, you remember how it was? 1.6 was a lot more like, there wasn't like Pika's advantage. It was like if you hold an angle and you're smart, you kill the guy every time. I imagine you would have been good at 1.6 if you're at the top level, right?
Yeah, I 1.6 it was pretty nice. Like, I would say it was so much different game, but so much better, I would say. Like I'm the old geezer as
Sure.
well. You know?
You're allowed to if you're an
And-
older player. You're allowed to complain.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And for me, 1.6 was so great game. Like obviously, like what I can say about the games like right now, I think like older games have a soul, you know. And right now, like some games are coming, like they don't have soul. I remember playing like Quake 1, Quake 2, you know, like those games. Like when first time you were coming to like even Diablo 1 or Diablo 2, and the first time like opening those games, it was so nice, you know. Like they were
Yeah.
so. And 1.6 is gonna be always the best Counter-Strike for me. Obviously, even if I achieve more in CSGO, it's
Sure.
like lovely game for me as well. I love CSGO as well. I'm gonna love CS2, but like the most like kind of memories it's gonna be from 1.6. Yeah, that's what,
I have to ask you a semi-controversial question now, though, Snax, which is, even though I'd heard your name like in the circle of like, oh, here's some good people in Poland, maybe we'll look at these players. The problem is, though, when I remember one of the first news stories about you, though, that came outside of Poland was really negative. It was that one where you had a fight with that guy at the LAN, right? Yeah. So the question is this: what was the story of that? It was like someone who talked shit on the internet or something, and you were there in person, something like this or something. What happened?
You know, I was a little bit younger. You know, stuff like this were happening. Like most of the time, like people were trash talking each other on internet, you know, and mostly it was happening to me because I think I was like 16 on that day, you know,
right.
like so I was pretty young, but you know, like the people didn't know how I look, you know. So when I come as a 16 guy, 2 meters again, like, you know, coming 120 kilo or whatever I was back in the day, then they were a little bit in shock, and then then the like situation changed, you know. And I remember it was just bad moment. Like obviously it just happened, you know. Like I'm the guy who's gonna say like whatever happened, it probably should have been like happening in your life or whatever. Like this is the life. You do some choices. You need to regret some. You need to be happy about some. And it happened like. It was a long time ago, actually.
Sure. Yeah, it was ages ago. This is literally like 2012 or something, guys. I have a question along these lines, though, because since you haven't done many interviews in English, and even at events at the after party, you were more sort of the guy who sat with the other Polish players, but then you were sort of off with them, and then maybe one or two of them knew the international crowd. So actually, I don't know if you know this, but Virtus.pro in general, because everyone looked really big, had kind of like an intimidating aura. But I think because you didn't talk to people in English, I think people were quite intimidated by you as a pro player. Like I think some of the other players, like those Astralis guys who were all like skinny little Danish guys, I think they were a bit intimidated. Did you get this sense? Did you know people took you that way?
Maybe a little bit. Like I for sure know, like people were scared at the beginning, like when they were looking at us. Obviously, like all of us mostly were like 192 meters and plus 100 kilo of most of the guy. Like so we were like a rugby team. I even remember the situation, you know, when we were coming to Las Vegas tournament or going back. Like that doesn't matter at all. But we met Conor McGregor, you know, and as I remember, the first question was like, what we are doing, and he was like asking if it's a rugby team or something, you know.
Right.
And then we like answered, no, it's like video games, you know, competition we are going in. And then he said, are we playing Battlefield or Call of Duty, whatever? Like,
some popular games, sure.
Yeah. And we said like Counter-Strike. So yeah, most of the people were a bit scared, and I would say I was a little bit ready for it, because from when I went to like the second school or something in my life, I was already bigger than most of the teachers, you know, in the school.
Right.
So I rise pretty fast in my life, and I was just used to it. And especially when I was younger, I was cutting my head to 0. So I mean, maybe not 0, but like 3 millimeters.
Sure.
Still kind of like
the army cut,
really,
basically.
Yeah. So people could have like this feeling when they were looking at me, for example.
Right, if I say in CSGO, Neo wasn't that good, people are going to go crazy. What are you talking about? I just mean he was just a good player. But the difference is in 1.6, like I think he was the best, mate. Like I've saw him all play. What did you think? When you were just a fan and you grew up, what was Neo like in 1.6?
In 1.6, he was the best. Like I can tell, like people can argue versus between him and Forest, obviously. But I would say for me, obviously, I'm in Poland and I watch a lot of his POVs, and I would say Neo, like the game sense, like. I don't know like how to exactly put it, but I would put like Neo and like game sense and skill wise, he was really nice, really good. Like the moment he was choosing to pick or whatever, it was so insane. Sometimes I remember the one I remember the most. It was Nuke. I think I don't remember exactly versus who. It was maybe M2W, you know, and he was playing in vents and he was going like up, killing heaven, going down, killing from lower, going up. Like this was like really nice run, and I was like. for sure he cannot win this round, and then suddenly like he's going like from the worst position ever, he's choosing the best timings, and the way he was shooting as well, it was so nice. And in 1.6 he was just best.
When CSGO came along, a detail some people might not know is that this Virtus.pro lineup didn't initially play together. They initially started with the old Polish lineup from 1.6, and then after, like, I'd say maybe it was like almost a year, maybe 9 months, they started to transition out. And even then, they didn't go straight to your lineup. They had the one with you and Pete and Hyper, and they went like slowly, piece by piece. When CSGO yeah, go on.
I think it was without the Pete. Like, I think it was me and Hyper. And
there you go.
Yeah, but not Pete. Maybe it was Pete, and I don't know. Like, we need to probably ask the older guys.
The question is this: at the beginning, before you got into that team, were you already going hard at CSGO when the game first came out? Were you putting a lot of hours in?
Yeah, I put a lot of hours. Like, I remember we first time even take out the map from them when I was playing in. It was exactly GF Gaming. Yeah. It was like Polish tournament, and I think we won Mirage. We were playing with Michu even back then when he was like 15, maybe. Right. I don't even remember exactly there, but he was really like a kid, I would say, back in the day. So yeah, I was grinding a lot. Like, I think even like there's some videos on internet, or like for example Mirage, like the evolution of smokes, and I think it also was kind of a video on YouTube that you can find about the usage of utility. And I think like the first team who bring more mollies and other stuff, it was our team, and it was 2014 year. Yeah, and I think I was like fully grinding, like checking new stuff, like saying I remember even we had a talk in VP when I said like, guys, we should like buy Molotovs, like they are so good, like even if they cost 600, like you can block.
This is in the time when no one used to use them at all, right?
Yeah, no one used them at all. Yeah, I think like if you go on now on Katowice 2014 final, you will see like NiP is not buying any Molotovs, and we are buying a lot. And I said to Neo, I remember we had this talk, especially on the old Inferno when the banana was so short, like so. Yes. So not that wide, you know, and like you could use 2 mollies and you completely burn whole banana. And I said like, we can just use this molly. This is so good, you know. This is so OP. Even if it costs 600, if you're gonna win the run, so what else? If you can get like 1 kill from this molly, that's giving you so much advantage. Let's use it. And then we started a lot, and like later we could see like other teams were starting to use it more. Huh? So I would say, yeah, I put in many hours, and I kind of developed myself in the game pretty fast. Obviously, I remember like the first when I get beta from Neo, it was 1 year before release. I think, I'm not sure, but like long time ago, like long time before the release, the game was really bad. But sure. I would kind of could compare it to CS2 when it get released. Like still, it's okay now to play, but we are lacking something obviously in that.
As you say, one of the other things about Virtus.pro was when Virtus.pro would bring a new idea or a smoke or some sort of tactic, it did seem like a lot of people watched those demos and copied from the other pro teams. Did you get this sense that like if you don't update, people just do the things you did or they scout the demo?
Yeah. You know, actually I think I never probably shared it before. Like I didn't do like that much of the interview that more detailed, I would say. So from 1.6, I learned one thing. If you're gonna do something nice and it's nice, probably people can like take it from you. So what to do? Insta counter for it. And whenever I was doing some moves for myself, I was thinking like how people can counter it. So I'm ready for it in the future. And that's all probably. Like this is the way I was like taking it. And I could feel like even I remember in 1.6 and like some Polish teams were like using my util, and even in CSGO. Some of the util are still using. Like I remember even when we come to like Ansa asked me to be a stand-in in Dallas, and I show like new flashes on Vertigo for them, like new molly on A, like some of those things, and I could see like we use them, we won some runs with this util, and then later on I can see like other teams that are starting to using this util. So I would say like some of the util I could say like I'm the creator of it. Maybe I mean it don't feel like I'm humble enough for it, but like before I was never like sharing. Like people who played with me or like had the time with me in the game, they could see like I probably bring a lot of util to the game because I always like to do it. And yeah, it's like if you hit good util and you support your friend with the util, it's so nice feeling, you know.
Obviously, in your team, people do know Neo and Taz famously were the two players that often took the in-game leader role. But it sounds like from hearing in the team, look, I'm going to guess maybe byali and Pasha didn't do too much, but it sounds like the rest of it was like a collective thing. Like people bring different ideas and then we build out the strat book and what we're going to do. Is this accurate? It wasn't just one person coming up with everything, right?
I could say like this, like I remember when they bring me to the team, they were like thinking that I'm gonna bring a lot of new stuff, but I remember like I said to them, guys, but it cannot be like this. I'm just new fresh blood here, you know, like I'm the new cowboy here. I want to like learn a bit. I think you need to start to show, and then later, if I gonna understand it to the game, how you understand it, then I can like bring something what I think. Like obviously I was showing my stuff, but I didn't want to be like put in the position that I'm taking like everything, you know. They start like trying to do something. Like I said, you guys more experience, like show me the way. Mostly like it looks like this. But from the years, I would say obviously like at the start of the VP, Cuban wasn't there. Yeah, he came in 2015.
Yes.
But I don't remember which month, probably March or
around the spring or something,
the first quarter. Yeah. So the first, like mostly it was me and Neo when there was no Cuban. Yeah, I would say that I don't think so. Like Taz and byali and Pasha were doing so much thing, but overall I think it was like anyway okay because we would have too much people to showing the stuff, you know. Like I would say our team was like perfectly balanced in every matter. And I think that was like the best thing in our team. Like I can go, or maybe now I can talk about it. Like byali was like maybe not doing that much of like IGL stuff or like doing the strats, but he was like for example for me he was really nice with communicating with the nicknames who is dying where, you know. Like
right.
Whenever he was dying, he was like this guy B, this guy me. Like he was insta, and like till this day for me it's hard, you know. I'm saying to the guys now in GamerLegion that I just cannot do it because like I was used to 5 years playing with the guy who's like automatically saying like you play and you hear okay this guy did from B, and I'm like okay I don't even need to think about it, you know. And I'm saying like I need to focus on another thing, and if someone can do it then it's nice. And then Pasha has the more like wooden movement ever, you can you can tell, but the Pasha had the best like in comps, you know, in the game. Like I never play with the better guy with the comps like than Pasha. Like and it's funny because it might feel funny like to people, but he was asking a lot. Like, guys, I have low HP, you know? And when he's asking, you know, then he's kind of forcing you to answer, you know? And he is like every time asking, do you have meat? Do we last meat? Do something? And then like those information, like if you're going through your head on Teams when you are playing and you need to answer meat, like, is it meat free? Like, is it open? And then if you are answering, like all the team like hear it, so all the team know what is happening. And that was for me like the best thing like Pasha had. And like I said, like he was like full of him everywhere on TeamSpeak, you know. And I really enjoy it. Like I think this thing like Neo, I would say he was like the most composure guy probably, even with this leak of the video on YouTube with me arguing with Taz. Like you could see like Neo just talking normally, like well nothing is happening. I mean, to this video I can just say like some days like we had to fight like this, but I can assure that next prac probably after it we were just playing normally. So
yes,
and Neo was like,
I think people don't know because they're used to like Americans and how they like their team's more like, you know, fucking you can't argue and stuff. They don't know this is just how life was in this team, right? People had times when they argue and then they get over it, right?
Yeah. I mean, even if you watch like Atlanta Major, we were arguing like, in overpass. And like the thing with arguing in our team was pretty easy because we are just fighting. Okay, 10 seconds, 15 seconds in the game. Okay, like we are off of it. Arguing, we just release our stress or emotion, whatever, and we just keep playing. Okay, so Neo was like fully composure. I would say Tas was like a good captain. I can say like this. Like he was a good captain, good leader. I would say also like taking care of whatever was happening in the VP organization, like between players and the org was on point. And so I would say like everyone have like something like details like in the game or outside the game that were helping, and we're like a good puzzle. Yeah, and I could also say like maybe not always we are like fully like family that people were thinking. Sometimes we have like more argues and we are not talking like that much, but when it comes to like playing and comes to tournaments, we all like forget what was happening behind the scene, and we just wanted to win. So this also like what I really liked about the VP team. Yeah.
When and you guys go on.
And about like you were talking like how much like the stuff like, we are putting in the game, and I would say I put a lot for sure. Like I think I still have like some, notepad or notebook like with like the pages with a lot of pages, like the tactics. I remember even we had like some slump situation. Like we had like I think 4 or 5 like for in our team. Yeah, that we were playing good and like not going out of group, then coming back, and some of them I was like fully taking the like the IGL. Like we are not even like announcing it in the game. Like in the HLTV or whatever, like people didn't know it. But I was like taking it, redoing a little bit of our stuff on T-side default, so we feel like mostly help from Kuban, I would say. And then, or alone, even my mother was like, I was like saying, why you are spending that much time, it's like break for you or whatever or something. And then I was like, we need to fix some stuff. And then like I was showing the stuff. We are doing something, we're going in the game, and then we are like swapping me again to the player instead of IGL. So that's why I think also like my roles were changing through the years, because like 2014 I was like more lurker, then 2015 I was more attacking, and like it came naturally a bit in the team. It wasn't like, okay, you need to play this or this, but I was saying, okay, I like this position, let me play. Yeah, obviously the map pool was also changing, so other maps, and on other maps like I would say I was more lurker, but on other maps I was playing a little bit more aggro. And then it was a time as well in 2017 when I started up. So I would say like I would put myself like that I was doing a lot of strats and new like gimmicks in the game. And I would put Kuben as well as a second, and I would put like Neo as a third. Like I think this is like the thing. And I remember also like I could put like our three just going on the server and thinking about the stuff, So, but I would put like in this positions. Like maybe guys can say something else about it, but this is like my top.
Sure. Right. Even though people will know, once Virtus.pro got going, it was obviously a very successful team. And I'd even say one of the actual really kind of cool qualities was it was a team that usually was always in the playoffs. Like there weren't many bad tournaments, but people might not know because it wasn't called Virtus.pro. The exact same lineup did go to the first CS major, that Dreamhack Winter one. It was only Universal Soldiers, and he just went out in the group stage. It was kind of like a whatever event. Do you remember this event? Was it shocking to blow the first major, as it were? Because you had a lot of success after this, obviously.
Yeah, I remember this first. I think we had a little bit like small problems with the org, because it was Polish org, and I remember some stories, but like let's skip it. Like we had just small problems with the org, and I remember the match we playing versus it was French guys. I think Maniac. I don't remember the exact lineup, but I remember it was Inferno, and we were kind of winning, and we couldn't win the round on NiP because I think even Maniac was killing us from the pit, from like cross positions, and that was hard because we felt like we were so much better, but we couldn't like ended up probably maybe it was I think our second tournament before it was something the like EM right call or something like this.
Yeah, EMS One or whatever. Yeah.
I remember the games won it. So yeah, so it probably was our second tournament. Yeah, for sure second tournament. So we were like probably like checking on what grounds we are standing, and. I remember like we said, okay, doesn't matter, not for now, like let's keep grinding. I remember no one was like obviously people are sad when they are losing, but you can see on other faces on other teams that the people are really full sad, like putting their heads down, not want to talk. And I remember I felt like, okay, like this is just another step to be better, and we're gonna grind it out, and we're gonna put it we're gonna put ourselves in good path, and that actually happened. Yeah, we like won the first tournament in December, and then Katowice came. Yeah.
When the Katowice event came, it was one of those rare majors where if you're someone who's in the scene but you're not a player, there's always one or two teams that you hear like the hype of like, oh my God, they're winning all the scrims, And then what usually happens is some people buy into that hype and they're like, yeah, they're definitely going to win. But then the problem is sometimes I'd say it's almost like a coin flip. Sometimes that team doesn't even do well. Maybe they are wrecking everyone in scrims. So at this tournament, the Katowice one, your team was the one that everyone said that they said in scrims, this team actually is just beating everyone. Like the two teams I remember, it was your team and it was the French team Titan. And obviously you ended up in the same group stage. Yeah. Everyone said in scrims these two teams just win everything. Did you already know going into this event like we can win the event, we can be the best team?
The funny thing is I don't remember we were beating everyone. Probably we did, but I just like do like small thing about like the thing. I remember like whenever I'm playing in the game and I don't put my scoreboard and I ending the map in the moment, like I'm saying, like they're saying this guy had like 0.7 or this guy had like 0.10, and I'm saying I don't even remember. Like I didn't even
Right.
check, you know. And this is the moment when I was playing the best. Like I was in the zone, and probably it was the same in the pracs. Like I was like that much in the zone, so I didn't care. I was just wanted to like kill, win the runs, and whatever the score is. I think I never put that much attention to the scores on prac because I was always like knew. Some of them can like change. Like people can play more passive, more
Yes.
safe. Some of them gonna play the same, but you know, obviously it was also the start of CS, and mostly the full structure of the teams were not that built up. You know, like there was like some of defaults that people were playing. I think it was just like even the beginning of the defaults that were the people like developing, and I think it's kind of came up with our team that we started to do a lot of defaults, like playing like off of what is happening reaction wise. And yeah, I remember just we put a lot of hours in bootcamp. Like everyone from us had like 100 plus hours. Like I think that's even probably 110 or 120. So we grind a lot, and I just felt overall like we just understand how to play game together. And yeah, in the major. It was pretty nice. I think the hardest match it was versus Hellraisers, the first match, but I would say warm up first time on you know like kind of big stage. I know it wasn't on the stage because it was group stage. Because it was group stage, it was like in small like expo hall or something. But after it, when we played pretty okay, we went to Titan. Byali started with ace and pistols, so I would say okay, guys, let's go. Yeah, let's even like Pasha get kicked out from the server because some bug or whatever.
All
We
right.
still like managed to like be cool, you know, and just play our game like no one was even mad. Obviously, Pasha Pasha yelled like kurva admin or whatever, help me. No, but we should just keep cool and keep going. And yeah, from like if you're gonna win the versus Hellraisers and Titan 2-0 in the groups and going out, then I think it's just giving you more boost and like and yeah.
When you reach the final, though, the difference is all these other teams, yeah, you're doing great in the tournaments, all going awesome, you win all the maps easily. But when you place in the final, when you know you're facing, like Get Right, Forest, was it not at all? Was there not a sense of pressure or like it's a really big moment in your life? Was there anything like that?
No, I actually remember I played really nice in final. Like it was the best map from me on this event, and you know I was like putting like opponents in the same page. Like they are good. If I'm gonna do mistakes, they will kill me. So it's like whatever I'm gonna play against. If I'm gonna be smarter, faster, better, and play together with my team, then no one can stop us. Yeah, like so. And I think also what helped me like to develop myself in the esports and sports overall, it was playing darts. You know, I just ate my stress out of there like a lot in the darts, and obviously I was playing versus older people. You know, so when I came to CS and I already have some experience to actually play on stage or some like good trophies or whatever, I didn't feel like any stress in this final. I remember this whole tournament was pretty nice for me. Like no even once feeling of stress. Like I was fully enjoying my time. This is also like the thing for me. Like I'm really enjoying the game. You know, whenever I'm in the game and my team is playing good, like I'm having fun and then no stress at all. Like I could even say like, for me, it's nicer if we communicate well and the team is playing good. Like we flash to like winning the runs. Like okay, I smoke here, I flash here. Come with me, trade me. I would jump. You know, this is the game what I love, and this is what I'm waiting for. If my team would won for example 16-0, but only like killing people like fully aim, then I would say okay, yeah, like we are just better. But then if it's like tight match, you know, 16-14, or I'm just saying in MR15 because we are talking about the old days. So if we're gonna win 16-14, but the runs was okay, fake here, two guys going like backside, you know, killing, and then we're gonna go out with smoke here and flash. Then for me, this is game like what I love, like the mostly, and so I think like this. So no stress at all, like for me in
this
the final.
actual final, obviously on Mirage, there's the iconic play you do when you're in the like apartments area, which is probably the most famous play associated with you, where you do like the 3-kill round when they don't expect you to sneak in. I would even say it's a pretty good round if people remember your career. That's kind of like what people think of you at your best, like lurking, finding a weird angle, catching people off guard, right? When you would do those types of plays, is that just instinct? Do you actually in the moment try and think up a little plan? What's your style?
I think it was more like instinct and maybe experience a bit. Like I know like I wouldn't put myself as a really experienced guy, but like what I said in 1.6, like I was thinking a lot of my clutches, like whenever should I do faster, and then I learned like most of the things you need to adapt fast, and like That's actually what I can say about Pasha. Pasha was every time asking when he was like leading in the clutch where he was, when he was like what he was doing, like what positions, and then he was like like putting this all information in his head and then like choosing the best. And so I was trying to do it as well, but I was not asking. Like, I was just listening a lot and then like putting myself in the zone that okay, I knew I need to go here, I need to go here. Also, I'm putting like I'm kind of listening what is the meta right now in the game, you know, and like some of those small things you can just catch from playing pracs or officials. Because some of those things, like I don't want to spill everything, yeah, because I'm still playing. Maybe in the future I will say maybe for other people for other people. But I think like some of the things are not changing that much in the game. They are changing like past 3 months or 5 months. And then if you're gonna catch them, you're gonna know like whenever how to play in Clash or whatever. Because people mostly, you know, I think I could say it like this. Like some of the things are working like in chain. You know, like if I'm gonna watch POV and I see okay he won Clash like this, then I might play like this as well because this is like how brain, like human brain is working. I see something good, I will do the same because I think it's good, and you know it can like work like this. And I was like trying to catch those things, and maybe it was a little bit naive, but I think it was kind of working for me past the years. So I'm not using it. Yeah.
Right, this is what's called in English a loaded question, Snax, because it's fairly obvious what I probably think you're going to answer, what you might answer, but I have to ask it because people want to know. So in Virtus.pro time, you guys only won one major, this kind of eats it, but it feels like every major you were in the semi-finals or could have won the major. In fact, usually you would lose to the team that won the major, so the obvious question is, should Snax have more majors? Shouldn't you have like 2 or 3 majors in CSGO?
I think one, like only Atlanta, I would say. Like,
oh, you think you should have Atlanta as well, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think like only Atlanta the final. Like we should, like we get the opportunity to win Overpass. We should have one train as well.
Yes.
Like it was 13-7 or whatever, 13-6 even maybe. Yeah, so I think only Atlanta. Like if we lost in semi-final versus good team and they won, then I would say okay, they should have won. Like I mean, you know, I'm trying to always be kind of real, you know, with the things. So if I'm gonna say okay, they won versus us, then they actually should have won the tournament or something. You know, if they are playing really good. And like in Atlanta, I would say, even you remember the interviews, even from me when my English was not that perfect back in the days, and when I was saying, now we're gonna smash them, yeah, like on this tournament. And we had the feeling in Atlanta we should have won versus them, so we just came with the power to in Las Vegas win. And obviously Atlanta was more prestige, but
sure.
Like,
I mean, I would say this is a common trend, though, of Virtus.pro. Like, I remember the same thing happened with FNATIC when they did that comeback at the Cologne tournament, the 2015 one, and then right afterwards you went to Dubai and just completely bodied them. It feels like, actually, Virtus.pro reminds me of, like, older sports stars where they try to find, like, a reason to get mad at this guy or, like, to have, like, a run, to, like, build up the game, you know? Like, it feels like you guys love the revenge match, right?
You know, actually, that's a good thing. And what I think right now about it, like, we are the team that could surprise everyone in the tournaments, and I don't think so. We have something like this in the past years. Like we are coming always kind of as a black horse of the tournament, you know, like going okay that this guy they might win or they might like lose on group stage. Like, you never know. And right now when we are like watching the tournaments, it's like vitality phase, you know, like mostly like those teams, and then you don't have this like Virtus.pro like hiding around the corner and waiting only to just bite you and just win the tournament. And actually that might be the thing that was actually nice in the period that we were playing as a VP. Yeah?
Thing is, was it the same for you? Did you yourself not always know if it's going to be a good tournament or a terrible one? Was it a mystery to you as well?
I think like overall, like we're always like happy to go in the tournament and play like this. I think especially in USA, obviously. No, I think like we never had like this mindset that okay, we are bad now or whatever. Like we were always saying, this is LAN. Like it, like everything can happen on the LAN, like on the events, like offline events. Like you like imagine like the story about the internet action, like fights and matches Virtus.pro when we couldn't like...
It's famous VP always loses online. Like ESL Pro League, probably the worst tournament ever for Virtus.pro, right? But on LAN, you could beat all these teams, couldn't you? Thing is, so I always got the sense in your team that that's what you were saying as well. Like if you lose the online game, it's like, we'd beat them on LAN. Is that kind of how people thought?
That was the thing.
Right.
I think also like the I don't want to find like excuses for those things, but I would say like Polish internet wasn't that good, you know. Like I had a lot of problems with my internet, you know, and when I couldn't focus that much of the game because I feeling I'm not killing people because of my internet, then you don't play your game.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
I mean, obviously, like it's not only about me, but like I didn't feel comfortable on the internet, and when I was going on the event, like it was pretty nice because I said, okay, those guys have the same like PC, whatever the LAN. The same as me, so this is now fair game and we can play. And I think like for all of the like VP members who are the same, like they just like to play LAN, they like to feel the you know the emotion, the pressure maybe a bit as well, like the fun. When I remember whenever we were going on the tournaments, like some people were asking, guys, are we playing on TeamSpeak or we're just shouting, you know? And then we were like, some of the tournaments we were shouting, you know, without TeamSpeak, and like
That's
this
ridiculous.
is the team, like
okay.
yeah, like I think in Copenhagen games, we full group stage we played without TeamSpeak, we were just shouting to each other, and it was fun, you know, and we like this like emotion that we were putting in the game, and we could feel like we are alive in the game, especially online. But on offline, like I mean, online it was harder to feel it, you know.
When you guys go to tournaments, are you a team where is there a lot of like focus on practice of like a specific opponent? Like let's watch all the demos or is it more like you just know a bit about them and you just take the game? How nerdy were you guys? Like obviously people know people like Glaive supposedly had like that notebook and the laptop and they go into it. How deep were you guys going?
You mean like counter analysis, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember, like, maybe you remember the match we played versus NiP on Dust 2 and we won it. Like, we never played, but we were
ELEAGUE one.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, so I remember we had a talk, you know, in the prac room. So what maps do we play? And we said, like, we have really bad map pool, you know, versus them. Like, we don't enjoy playing, like, I don't remember exactly which map, but it was good map for us overall, but not versus them. The versus them we were losing. And I said to guys, I think I can just do counter analysis for Dust 2 and we can play it. Like I'm okay with that, yeah. And like I fully take they were like thinking, like looking at me, I am crazy or what? But I said no, just guys, trust me, listen to me. I will take Dust 2, I will prepare it. I think I know how to surprise them. Especially they will have no counter for us, yeah, because it's Dust 2. Like so,
it's the map. If people don't know, VP never used to play. He used to hit this map. It was the worst one, yeah.
Yeah. And then I said, let's go. And I remember we start like 6-0 or 7-1 or something, or maybe 7-2. So it was good start for us on T side when we were like looking at the Dust 2, and I think we went like 9-6, maybe 10-5. I don't remember, but it was like good score, obviously. And we started really good from now. And in the city also we had the counters. I think I remember we were talking. I think it wasn't me because I took like more control of the T side, how I want to play in T side because I'm gonna call it. And then I remember like either it was Neo, maybe Kuben or Pasha, where they're saying, okay, guys, those guys like really like to take short, you know, under the stairs. And he said, let's just save the util and just bomber them. I think I remember we won the run just killing one guy and leaving two guys for like 20 HPs or something, and it was pretty easy. We like bomb HE, molly inside the short, and they like overall default were like they were trying to take short, yeah. It was like based on it to take short and just play off of it, and then we are just countering them there, and that's why we want us too. So I would say like those the analysis we had in the team. I like to do it more maybe like percentage. Like I could say, okay, this guy like to start more here or here, and then I'm trying to do something. Sometimes it's different. Like it depends really. Like because I'm thinking now about Kuben and Neo, like how they were doing it, and I think we're not going into that much details, you know, like when I was doing that, they were trusting me. Okay, I'm coming with the counter analysis, like the plan. Okay, we do this, let's go. And they say, okay. So like, it was no, like I wouldn't need to like say myself, okay, why we need to do it. They were just trusting. And it was the same like in, when it was Neo doing it and our Kuben sometimes, you know, like when he was like doing the analysis.
Right. One of the interesting things, like I said, because in the majors, especially, you guys were always like right there and playing the best teams. You're one of the only teams that did play, it feels like, almost all the great teams until these last couple of years. So I want to ask about a few of them. So obviously a classic matchup was against FNATIC, against Olaf and Flusher and JW. Mm-hmm. People remember this team. And actually, to me, they were also a team that was a little bit like yours, where it wasn't as set what all the roles are. Clearly, people do just play off instinct and what they want to do. These seem like a lot of classic games. Yeah. What did you think about this team? Seems like it was a great matchup for you guys.
Yeah, I think like whenever in the moment you were playing versus FNATIC and you felt that you cannot win the duel, then you already lost the match, you know. They were so sharp and they were they were animals, you know, on the map. And like I remember some of the matches that I was like putting myself really in the deep zone, that I was saying, okay, guys, we need to win. And then I don't remember which cache it was, but I remember just I played so good on cache, and whenever I see someone, I was just killing instantly. And I said, okay, we got this, because I'm feeling good CS right now, and I just not scared of like taking duels or whatever. You know, it's like, because I'm saying I was like like telling myself that when you have bad matches, because it sometimes can happen, you wake up bad way or something, you cannot shoot that good like you used to, then you can become a little bit more as a supporting team. You know, you don't need to play first, you can flash, you can like even say, okay, I will jump for you, go kill. And then you have also like some roles in the team, but you need to like understand in the moments you are not shooting that good, just switch it, yeah. And then in the moments when I was like really like feeling it in the game, then I was like, okay, we can win versus nothing. And obviously like our team was like this, like sometimes it was me that like fully putting myself in the top and was killing everyone. Sometimes it was byali. I think like byali is the most like underrated player, you know, like because he didn't want. I don't know if he won the MVP medal even once.
I don't know if he ever did. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think so. And this guy was like, I would put himself like anytime in VP, like better aim than me, you know, like I would say like this guy.
I mean, his aim was crazy, right?
Yeah, he was nuts. Like I would also say about Tas at the beginning when I joined them and I was watching Tas was playing CSGO. Bro, he was insane. Like
first year or so, yeah.
First year was like, I would say, okay, I guess like I don't need even to shoot probably because those guys are so good, yeah. And obviously like in time in chase, I think also like maybe it has stay a little bit in the old way of CS, you know, like 1.6. Well, I don't think so. It was that strategically wise done CSGO in 2016, 17 was started to grow with this util, other stuff like more strats, and I think maybe that was harder for him to adapt, you know. But overall, like the beginning was so hard, like so nice to watch those guys, and byali was like insane, and like there's no doubt. Like I'm really sad that he don't have any MVP medals or whatever. Like he for sure should have. Like this guy was nuts.
The other thing is, though, actually, if I ask a little bit of follow-up on byali, the other thing is, though, I can see also why he got underrated, though, because he's not a guy who seems like he ever tried to be a superstar. Like, he never does interviews. The joke is, I've even told him, like, we could do something. He's like, nah, who cares about that? Just have a drink at the bar. He's just like a fucking soldier, you know? He just goes in, plays the game, and then that's it. He doesn't try to be a superstar, right?
Actually, that's true. I think he has even the contract that he don't want to do any interviews. So
right, he have to do media, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, maybe like, he should have get one, like
yeah, at least once, surely. There's got to be one tournament where he was the best. Come on.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like this guy, whenever I was like watching the way he was spraying to the guys, like I never seen like something like this, and it was pretty nice. Yeah. Right, but he was kind of like a soldier, I would say. Like he was just a soldier player, you know. He's coming, killing people, doing his job, and he was just happy, like whatever he was doing.
Yes, exactly. It's okay. FNATIC's obviously a classic one. Another one, I know you guys liked them in real life, was obviously the Brazilians, the SK Gaming, Luminosity. Yeah. A lot of other also classic games between these two teams. What was this team like to play against?
I think it was easier than in FNATIC. I don't know what is the like scores, if we won more versus FNATIC or like the win-lose situation there between those two teams, but from my side, it was easier to play versus Brazilian than FNATIC. Like FNATIC was much harder. Yeah, maybe like I said, win-lose situation is not on our side versus MIBR. Maybe we have better on FNATIC. I think so, but I would say it was easier on MIBR. I mean, SK, like MIBR, yeah, the Brazilians. So, yeah, I think like mostly it was hard when Kozera was on point, and overall, like, I mean, we had good fights. I really like to play versus them. I had the feeling that they understand the game. They're playing a little bit, trying to play smart as well, like the way I like to play. And I remember Engine play versus them. Even when we were losing, I would say, okay, like this is the matchup I like. Like it just show, like it can show like who is just better right now, and did like more preparation before the game or whatever.
Right, when you guys came to the point of, like, Atlanta's the best example, and you had that rivalry against Astralis, even when they were TSM, they were always playing you guys as well, right? Obviously, at this point in time, you used to win a lot of the battles against them, and you were kind of like one of those, like, final bosses for them. So the question I have is this. I always got the vibe, like you said from some of the trash talk, you guys went way harder at them than at some of the other teams. And I always got the sense of, like, obviously they were a top team, but a lot of the top teams behind the scenes did think this team will choke. Like, if you put pressure on them, if you sort of intimidate them, maybe they they break or they get scared. Did you have a sense like that about them? Because a lot of people think if they didn't win this Atlanta match, maybe they never win the major. You know, they always used to be the team that lost to the semis. Or, you know, what do you think about this?
About Astralis, yeah, after winning Atlanta. I was thinking about it, that we probably gave them the red carpet to actually become a great team.
Yes.
I wouldn't take anything from them. I would say the hard work they're putting in the game and it's just paying off, you know, after the time, and we could see. I would put, like, I have fun because like people are saying, okay, we won the major because the times were different. But I would say in 2017 when Astralis became like the greatest team of the Counter-Strike, I would say we are good at the moment. We could easily win the match versus them. So I wouldn't put myself like I win the major because CS was like on the kid stage that was just crawling, you know. Like so I think like it probably guide them, and like I said, putting the red carpet for them, it was like helpful for them to achieve more. But I wouldn't take everything that it's only because of this major they start to play good. Like I would say the whole composition there, when I remember in 2000 on the major or in Krakow? When
the PGL Krakow major?
Yeah, but when Magis came to Astralis, it was
he came after. He came in 2018.
Yeah, it was after Krakow. Yeah, I think, and the North kicked.
It was a bit further. He got kicked from North in then, but he went to that Optic team first. But yeah, he played that Krakow one where.
So who was playing instead of Kirby? I don't remember after Atlanta because he left.
No, Kirby left like the next year after Boston. So it was like Kirby left and then Megas came in. Yeah.
So I remember it completely different. I thought that he left like pretty early after Atlanta. Okay, so I remember like they were playing really good, like especially the core, yeah, like Dupri, Glaive, Device, and who was the rest? Zipnix. I'm sorry, I'm just forgetting all of the stats. Like I don't want to be like this because I think, okay, this guy don't remember versus who we played in 2017 final. But yeah, I would say like they were working a lot. I even remember that we had Glaive and after the major, like he said, they started to rush on train because they thought that we cannot hear because like the crowd is so loud. And we said, but we had like push to talk button, you know, in there, so we didn't like have a problem that much like they did. And then we had like laugh. But then I was like thinking, okay, those guys are actually trying to think like how to beat us because maybe they can take something from even like outside the game as a advantage, yeah. And then if you like listen to those things, like you think this guy actually like maybe this was not the smartest thing, yeah, but it's not about it. But like you know, like he's trying to be as a like foxy style, you know, around sneaky to win the match. And then I like it. And I think, okay, this guy is actually trying to do whatever he can to win. And then I say, okay, those guys.
I see what you mean about that story though, because obviously the joke is if you watch the game and you're not in the venue, everyone thinks like, oh, it's genius. Like they decided like, you know, pace change, they're going to just rush. But like you say, actually, they just thought it was too loud. And if people don't know, it's a classic land trick. If it's really loud, you can't hear the footsteps. So especially on maps like Train, you always just rush out and that's the move, innit? That's it. That must be more annoying when you found that out though.
Yeah, but we didn't have that much problem with it, you know. Like I said, I think it was mostly only the team in the. I think it was the start to like actually put the voice activation. Now you can like fix it even better with the microphones we have. Like, remember we were getting the. I remember first or second major. I remember first like it was Dreamhack Winter major. I think I remember we got some headset like the worst microphone ever, and I couldn't hear myself. Other people like. It was so hard to play, but like those things we didn't have a problem, and so I think they were just overall like great team, and I think they deserve what they achieved in the game.
Right. One of the things that was famous about Virtus.pro was there was even a line that people had in the interview. It was like a great line that could be like a movie where you said like, we don't change players, we change roles. And the idea is, you know, like maybe this guy becomes the in-game leader, then he takes a turn with the AWP or whatever, right? This sounds like a great line. Like I say, in a movie, that would be a great line. In real life, though, here's the question. Were there ever times when it was close, like maybe we make a change or maybe someone's playing too bad and they have to be kicked for a while? Was it ever close to a roster move?
No, I think it was after we break up only. Like this was the time. That I don't think so. Never even we think about it. And
does that mean you had some unique approach to solve problems then? Because another reason, like the two main reasons why people get kicked from teams is either they have an argument and you can't get over it, or someone's playing badly and you just kick them and you bring in the player who's played better. How does the team move on? What if someone's playing badly? What if there's an argument? How did you deal with it?
I think the thing is like people get kicked off the team or they're leaving because they can handle the arguments, you know. And I think in our team, arguments were on the day basis.
Right.
And
Okay.
but the thing is, like, you can like know when people are arguing because they want to win, you know, and not just like arguing because they like to argue, you
Right.
know. And when I see this fire in their eyes when she's like arguing because he actually want to win, then I'm okay with that, because I have a feeling that he has like the love for the game. He want to win. And then if like I don't want to play, or why do you play, like you can feel like this difference in talking even when you are arguing. So if you do it because you want to win and you are showing your anger to win and a hunger for the games, then I'm okay with that. Yeah. And I think that was the mostly thing in our team, that we are like, we wanted to win. You could see like maybe outside the server when we are like outside, like we are talking and having fun, but in the game it was so much different team. And I think mostly because of it. And I think also we'll trust that much each other that in the game we all are adults. And I think also me and byali like what helped that to play versus like with older people, so we kind of learn the stuff. And I also, like I was saying to other guys, like if they're asking me what is the difference between VP or something, and I'm saying like when I was top 2 in Poland in 2010 or whatever, I was getting like what €50 per month
Sure.
or whatever. And those guys were getting like what $1.5K euro when they were top 1 in the world. And I'm saying, you know, those guys were not playing like for the money. Obviously,
Yes.
money is the important part of the life. But if you can see like them, they were like grinding themselves to going by the bus for like Denmark or whatever,
Yeah.
20 hours or something travel only to play Counter-Strike and stuff. Because they love it. And I was also like, I started to play the game and achieving something when I was not getting that much money from it. So I think people were treating Counter-Strike a little bit different back in the day, you know. Now when
Sure.
you are like a younger, and you even gonna get like €1K, you know, and that is like, it's massive like amount of money when you are 15 or 14.
You
You
feel
know?
rich,
And
of
then,
course, yeah.
Yeah, and then you are like boss of the like new school. You know,
Yes.
you're going to the school, buying everything. Okay, let's go here, you know. And this is so much different. Like I was treating CS more serious, and I think those guys were treating CS more serious, and that's how we didn't even think, I think, back in the head, like, okay, we need to change. Like it was more like, okay, we need to fix, and let's go fix it. And that was mostly, I think, the difference between the teams I had and I think in other teams overall.
Since in this team you had Neo, Taz, and Cuban eventually came as the coach. I know Passion was there for a while, but it wasn't there for all 1.6, obviously. Right? Yeah. These are players who are like, the experience level is insane. Like, I mean, I always tell people this about Blade from Na'Vi, because a lot of people don't know how much 1.6 played. I tell people he might have played the most lands, like, of any player ever in it. He's probably done like 1,000 lands or something insane. Like, same with Neo and Taz, they've been to 1 million bazillion lands, right? When you play with people like this, do they have a different vibe? Like, how do they not get burned out? Like, how do they keep going all these years? It's quite impressive to me. How do they do it?
That's a good question. Like, I would say, like, from my perspective, because I got kind of burned out in 2017 at the end, but it was like a lot of things happened in one time. And I think whenever, like, I'm also saying to myself, whenever I'm gonna lose the fun from the game and feeling that I actually enjoying it, I'm gonna just quit the game and I'll say, okay, this is my time. Like, right. I don't want to push myself. Like, right now, I'm still enjoying the game. You know, I like to play. I think it's fun to play. So I'm gonna play, and I think for other people might it work the same way. So if you're gonna enjoy the game, you want to like to grind, and this is what like you are like getting up from the bed and you're saying, like can you imagine, like now after 35 days from travels, I felt like I want to go home and play Counter-Strike because I didn't play that much on those, travel, not that much practice, travel. Right. And I felt like I didn't play Counter-Strike at all. Like I was on Fortnite, but I said to myself, actually, I want to play some Counter-Strike. And then yesterday I was playing Counter-Strike, even after the 4th tournament. So I think this is the way. If you enjoy, if you have this like coming back to home after some tournaments and saying, okay, I still want to play, I want to play Counter-Strike, let's go hop in, just play, let's play Face It, whatever, then I think you still have it. Yeah, you have this fire you want to play. And I think you just need to be fair with yourself in the life. If you don't enjoy it, just leave it. Like don't do it, yeah. And for other people, I think can be money, can be, and like fun as well. Like for me, can be they just used to it and just they are playing. But I think like in Taz, I would see full fire, and he wanted to just achieve more and more and more. That is what I could say for example Taz, because he was like the icon, like the mostly icon from our team that hyping up the team. So I could say about him. And other people, I think they just like to win, and I mean, we're just enjoying the game as a team.
When I make content, it isn't just me, the mic, and a guest or a topic. It's also me with the support of my whole crew. Who's that, you might ask? The Skrilluminati. That's who. They include Frisky, Matt Pugnaccio Racula, Ahmed Hadju, Tosh, Tobias Bernasconi, Jensen Gore, Animosity, Toucan, and you know it if you've heard it before, but if you haven't, a special thanks goes out to my main man, Jerky's Minion. Well, if you want to know upcoming topics and guests I'm going to have on my channel, maybe you want to ask me a question to answer in an AMA in video fashion. Do you want to hear one of those long discussions and actually be part of it and be able to ask me questions? Want to find out who I'm going to interview next? If any of these perks or more appeal to you, put your money where your mouth is. Join the Skrilluminati today via the Patreon link in the description box below.